In this video, we're going to solve the following problem. A manufacturer of widgets finds the following relationship between the price and demand for the widgets. So this is x equals function f of p equals 11 times p minus 120 squared for prices between 18 and 60. The problem wants us to find for what prices are revenues increasing, what prices are revenues decreasing, and wants us to find the maximum revenue. Okay, so first off, this is a problem about revenue, so we need to write down our revenue equation. We know revenue is price times quantity, which is going to be 11p times p minus 120 squared. We're trying to find out when revenues are increasing, decreasing. We're trying to find the maximum, which means we want to take the derivative, find a critical number, find when the derivative of revenue is positive and negative, and so on. So let's work through. So our derivative here, r prime of p, is, we've got a product rule, so it's 11 times p minus 120 squared. That's the derivative of the first function, the p, plus 11p times 2 times p minus 120. We can simplify a little bit, not much. Well, I'm going to factor some things. So I'll factor some things out. So we can factor out an 11 from both terms. We can factor out a p minus 120 from both terms. And we end up with, here we've got a p minus 120. And here we're left with a 2p, so plus 2p. So that gives us 11 times p minus 120 times 3p minus 120. So that's our derivative. We need to set it to 0 to find the critical number. So 0 equals 11 times p minus 120 times 3p minus 120. And we can just inspect here. So we have critical numbers at p equals 120 and p equals 40. But again, remember our domain is between 18 and 60, so this critical number is outside the domain and we can ignore it. So we're left with one critical number, 40. I like to draw my timeline, or my number line for the derivative. We know there's a 40 here. And let's choose a small number. Again, we're looking here at our derivative. We want to find out whether it's positive or negative. We know it's 0 right here. So we choose a small number like 20. We've got 11 times a negative number times another negative number. So negative times negative is positive. So we get positive derivative here. And then if we choose a larger number like 50, this first term is negative, the second term is positive, and so we end up with negative. So here revenue is increasing, here revenue is decreasing. That means we've got a maximum at 40, and the maximum, of course, we have to plug in 40 into our revenue equation. So that's, what is that? That's 11 times 40, remember this is the revenue equation, times 40 minus 120 squared. Okay, so let me pull out my calculator. Type this in. We've got 11 times 40 times negative 80 squared. We get $2,816,000. So let's go put this in. Prices for which revenues are increasing. Well, we've got a minimum price of 18. They're increasing all the way up to 40. Prices for which revenues are decreasing start at 40, not including, and go all the way up to 60. That's our maximum price. And the maximum revenue is $2,816,000. Moment of truth. Click submit. We've got the correct answer.